Hey everyone, my name is Janessa and I am from Texas. I actually looked through a few informed consent forms online. I typed it in the search bar and just opened up a few and just kind of skimmed through them all, and I was really surprised to see how different they all were. Some were long, like 15 pages long, some were a page long. Some were really detailed. Others started with the payment info and give me your insurance info, and it was just really eye-opening, I guess, to see the difference in a lot of these consent forms. I ended up choosing a consent form for counseling and psychotherapy from West Texas Counseling and Guidance in San Angelo, Texas. Right off the bat, I loved how it states underneath mental health services, our therapists work within the context of each individual's beliefs, and no attempt is made to impose a personal theology, which I feel like is what makes a great counselor. You know, just keeping your personal stuff aside, as hard as that may be, and just providing a great service. I'm going to go through the things that it did touch for the Code of Ethics and for the state of Texas, and then I'll touch a few things that I kind of didn't see mentioned that are mentioned in the Code of Ethics and here in the state of Texas. They go through appointments and cancellations. They give you a brief little paragraph of what to do there. They talk about, the relationship between the client and the therapist, strictly professional, which is found in the Code of Ethics, and as well as here in the state of Texas guidelines. It gives you the goals and purposes of therapy, which I think is extremely helpful. Again, it goes into confidentiality, just basically stating that everything is kept between the counseling service place and the client, with the exceptions, of if they are going to harm themselves or harm somebody else, then of course they are inclined to share that information. They talk about the risks of therapy. They talk about the payment. They give an after-hour emergency, which I thought was really neat. And something that this place did cover was if something were to happen to the therapist, if they died or were no longer able to provide services, what would happen to the client. And then it just kind of gives you some legal stuff in very good detail, which I thought was really nice. And then it goes to end with them signing, of course, and then a little intake form, which is basically all their information, and it asks questions about, their past and things like that. So again, everything kind of touched base with what's in the Code of Ethics. A few things that I didn't see mentioned in great detail was the credentials of the therapist. I don't know if this was done because maybe there's more than one, and to list all their credentials would take forever. So that was one thing I saw that was kind of left out. Another thing was underneath the confidentiality, it didn't state anything, or actually in any part of the consent form, of minors. But however, at the bottom, when they were going to sign and all that good stuff, it had a section of if the client was 18 or younger, of course, they needed their parent's signature. But I didn't see it anywhere in the actual consent form saying, about the confidentiality, especially since I know that in the Code of Ethics, that's something that they touch base on, and also here in the state of Texas. So there's also like a no-show and cancellation policy at the end. And then I thought it was cool. They did a little notify of your next appointment, and just a little way to remind them through text, social media, email, and all that good stuff. So all in all, I felt like this was a pretty good consent form. It did leave a few things out, but I felt like the major points were touched. So that's my video. Thanks.